Ask away. Here, you want to slide that over there?
Sure.
Sorry, I'm trying to be a new guy for this.
I can stand, man. It's fine. It's only going to take a minute.
Right.
It's pretty simple questions I think you can answer for me. I was just wondering, is it department policy for officers to identify themselves when asked by citizens?
Well, most of us have a name tag.
Right.
Yeah.
I just mean, like, if I said, hey, J. Simmons, what's your badge number? Name and badge number.
We don't go by a badge number.
Don't go by badge number,
We
employee.
go by a call sign.
Okay.
My call sign is number 3.
Okay. I'm just wondering if that's something that, most departments have the policy. A citizen asks, officers tell. I just wanted to verify.
I had to look at the policy.
Okay, that's fine. That's something I could FOIA too, so that's not a problem. I didn't know if y'all could answer that directly for me. And my other question would be, what's your policy? Do you have any type of policy on citizens recording the police? How police should react to that, or things of that nature?
I'm reacting like I think the rest of us should react.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing. The other night I recorded Maynard, I believe the lady told me his name was, at the pilot station. And then yesterday, Maynard saw me driving down the road and recognized me and thought that he should follow me to the race. I went to the racetrack, very short distance from where I was coming from to where I was going. He was driving the opposite direction, made a U-turn when him and I made eye contact. Followed me to the racetrack. He didn't pull into the racetrack. He kept going up that road that goes to the post office. I come out of the racetrack.
Dixiana Road.
Is that Dixiana Road?
Yeah.
I'm not sure the name of the road. So he goes up Dixiana. I come out of racetrack. About 30 seconds after I get to my vehicle, Maynard comes driving by again. I see him looking at me. So I pull out onto 321 heading back deeper into Cayce. So this way on 321, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Maynard is sitting in the median to see which direction I go. That he sees that I turn right and continues to go.
He might have thought you might have been some kind of terrorist or something filming it.
Because I filmed the police?
Filming whatever. Maybe he thought you were.
I wasn't even filming him at this time. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I had filmed him previously 2 nights before that.
Well,
and
maybe he felt
recognized my
necessary
truck.
to try and figure out who you were.
Okay,
on your tag, you know.
There's more to the story. If I'll just keep going. So he drove real slow to try to let me catch up to him, which I never did. But I turned into the.
You know what I do? Is I slam on brakes and make you pass me.
Well, maybe, but it was pretty obvious what he was doing. So I turned into the Bilo and parked in the Bilo to where my truck would be facing the Reed's parking lot.
Gotcha.
It's not Reed's anymore.
So far, what you've told me, you've done several things that made him have reasonable suspicion that you were conducting some kind of suspicious activity.
Really?
Yeah.
Reasonable suspicion of what crime?
No crime, but
that's what they need.
Weird activity. No,
to what? To drive down the road?
Were you arrested?
No, but I was essentially stalked. If you let me, I've got some more to the story. Yeah, let me keep going because it's very interesting what happened. So I parked in Bilo because I had plans to go into the Dollar General. Maynard parks in the Reed's parking lot,
right,
facing me. I get out of my truck to go inside. I look up, I notice Maynard's gone. And I knew exactly what he was doing, and he did do it. He drove around the Bilo, went back around the Bilo.
To tag off your car, didn't
Right, exactly. Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Why would he?
That's called this inquisitive mind.
Right. Why would he be trying to get my tag if I haven't get my tag number and run my plates if I haven't broken any law?
Because you can. I was police officers. We're here to investigate.
Right.
Well, if we see suspicious activity like you've conducted, we're here to run that tag and say, okay, it comes back to John Doe. And he lives at 124 Fantasy Lane.
Okay, so in your mind, what activity was suspicious?
You filming him the initial night. I don't know.
That's a constitutionally protected activity.
Absolutely.
That can't be construed as a crime or suspicion of a crime.
Anything that he's done is constitutional as well.
Not necessarily. I mean, we could dig into that.
Different opinion.
So you're telling me that officers investigate people that engage in constitutionally protected activity for what purposes exactly? Because that's not right. That's almost prior restraint.
That's your opinion.
I would say it would be probably the opinion of the Supreme Court in some case law actually that
take it to the Supreme Court.
Okay, well, I thought I'd take it here first since this is it would be the first recourse to speak to somebody higher than him.
That's why I'm speaking to you.
Okay, so.
But I'm not saying that I would have done that, But I'm not saying that he's done anything wrong either.
All right, what should I do?
Somebody filming down at the bridge, or filming me, I'm going to want to know what they're filming me for, and I'd probably acted just like he did, and then I would pull around and run your tag.
Well, you don't think maybe you would?
The privilege to have that tag on your car in this state is any police officer can run it.
Okay. So you don't think a better recourse would have been to approach me while I was
I'd
filming?
I'd probably done that and said, "What are you doing?"
Right. That's my problem. Is I was filming him one day, and 2 days later,
why were you filming?
He just
I'm going to ask you a straight up question. Why?
Because it's my constitutional right to, and
why?
I believe it's important to observe public servants in their duty as public servants when they're conducting that in public, and that's a guaranteed right that I have under the First Amendment.
Right on.
That's why.
Okay.
Y'all don't have a problem with being filmed, correct?
No, I don't care.
Right,
I'm on TV all the time.
Right, I would think y'all would welcome it to show what a great job you're doing. As long as you're not doing anything nefarious, they shouldn't have any problem being recorded. Which is I just don't understand. I mean, it was scary to me when he did that because it was obvious what he was doing. He saw me and made a U-turn and decided to follow me.
I'm sorry that you were scared, but he wasn't doing anything inappropriate.
Okay, that's not all right. But okay, so let's say he did the same. He does the same thing again some other time. When does it become inappropriate? It hasn't happened again. But
you know him on some other level and just filming him one time. And
nope.
How did you come up with his name?
I showed a picture to the lady out front. She told me his name.
Oh, okay.
I had no clue who he was except by sight before that.
You're totally within your constitutional rights, and I'm a big advocate of the constitutional rights.
I'm just worried about,
Why are you worried?
It feels threatening to.
Why do you feel threatened? Are you serious?
An armed individual following you around. He had opportunity to get my plate when he was driving behind me. So then why would
Maybe he didn't get it. I did not have his perspective, his point of view.
He's not here, is he?
Sometimes I'll boldly go up and just blatantly come up behind you and get your tag. And let you look at me getting your tag. Sometimes I've gotten out of the car, walked around a backed-in car because that just doesn't seem right.
Right.
Guess what? The car was stolen.
Well,
and the guy that stole the car, even though I could never prove it, was 50 feet away. And then I went to talk to him, and he got all mouthy and everything. Guess what? He didn't go to jail, and I towed the stolen car. It came back to Richland County. I just didn't have enough proof to put him in jail on it, even though some of his stuff was in the car.
Right. See, that's something I'd much prefer, though. If he had just, when I was filming him, he had 2 other officers with him when I was filming him. If they had just come up to me then and talked to me, that's fine. But
I like the direct approach.
Right.
That's why I asked you.
Me too. I'd much prefer that than a couple days later you see me and decide to follow me and essentially surveil me. For engaging in a constitutionally protected activity. Right, but did you do it on just the basis of they were engaged in a constitutionally protected activity?
That was kind of suspicious. I'm trying to figure out who he is.
See, I have a problem with you saying filming the police is suspicious. That's a big issue to me. What's it suspicious of? What
That's with you.
What? All right, can you explain what's suspicious about filming the police then?
Nothing, but there's a bunch of people in this world.
So there's nothing suspicious about
mentalities.
Sure.
That might be filming police to do something bad, especially in this climate and time and this.
Which climate and time is that?
Ever since we've had all this stuff going on where they're rioting in different states and we've got issues up in Baltimore.
Right, because of
even though I am proud of the state of South Carolina, because guess what? We didn't have any rioting. We didn't have anything wrong. Everybody united, and it was a terrible thing to happen.
I'm very proud of that as well. But that's a reason to record police, because all those things you talk about were caused by incidents of police violence. So that's justification for citizens to record the police. And
knock yourself out. Record all you want.
You're saying that, but then you're telling me that it's suspicious that I do it.
Hey, you can't fault us. If you're wanting to film, we have the right to try and figure out who you are, because you could be Muammar Gaddafi or somebody like that, or some sort of terrorist. We don't know.
Do you equate?
Give us a break. We're human beings.
I'm saying, I know, but do you equate photography with terrorism?
No.
No.
I didn't say that.
I know, but
do you put words in people's mouths?
No, I asked a question. I asked, do you do that?
Right.
I wasn't trying to say
question.
you said you did that. No, well, you bring up the terrorism argument and say, hey, you might be a terrorist. We're suspicious of that. That's why I was asking if you equate photography to terrorism at all. No.
Now, that's a perspective thing, and it all depends on the time, situation, and location.
Okay.
Because if I've got people filming the underside of the bridge, filming water towers, filming aerial towers, if I've got people appearingly casing out, it's not my jurisdiction, but the football stadium over there.
Sure.
Something like that.
So what would be your course of action if you did see a person doing that?
They walk up to them normally and say, "Hey, what you doing?"
They weren't driving, so you couldn't get their tag number.
Yeah, just walk up and say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Would you try to identify them?
Yeah. Can I see your ID?
But they don't have to identify themselves, correct?
It all depends.
On what exactly?
If a police officer asks you for your ID, you're supposed to identify yourself properly.
Is that
conducting an investigation? Yes.
So South Carolina is a stop and ID state?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not. I know that for a fact. Even when a police officer has reasonable articulable suspicion
if I stop you in a car and ask for your ID,
that's different. I said, yeah, you're required to have a driver's license, but if I'm on foot.
Okay, if you're on foot, it's a bit different situation.
Okay, that's what I was asking. If they weren't in a car
at the beach, or you don't have your ID on you and all that, but it's probably the best thing to do to try and identify yourself if you're not doing anything wrong.
But I don't have to, correct?
You don't have to.
Okay, just want to clarify that. So I'm going to try to end the discussion now, I guess. I appreciate your time. I really do. I'm very surprised you invited me back here and were willing to let me record you speak to me, and I appreciate you doing that.
Not a problem.
But just to clarify.
Well, you got to understand, we are just people like you are.
Right. But
that right there doesn't do anything for us, but empower us to place people under arrest that have committed a crime.
Right.
It doesn't make us better than anybody in the world. We're still people.
Right. I agree that you're people, not quite just like I am, because I'm a private citizen and you're a public official, which gives me the right to scrutinize your activities.
Well, you can scrutinize away. I don't care.
Yeah, but so I just want to clarify. Now, I'm not.
Unless I'm doing something wrong.
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth or anything like that. So I'll let you speak to it. But my question is: so, is it the policy of this department that people recording the police are suspicious people?
I don't think it's necessarily the policy.
Okay.
It's based on each situation. I mean, you can't just put it in one little box and say this is what it is.
Okay. Okay, that works. And last question, I think. Now that we've determined that Maynard probably got my tag number, had multiple opportunities to do it, if the same thing were to happen again, what would be my recourse?
I will talk to Maynard's supervisor and say that I have talked to you, and I don't know your name, and I don't really care what your name is. I've had this discussion with people all how many times. You can be Mr. Anonymous, I don't care.
Okay.
You're not the scope of an investigation, you're not conducting anything suspicious. I mean, you're recording me, but I could really care less.
Right.
I'd prefer not to be on YouTube or whatever, but if it is, so be it.
Well, I have a YouTube channel. That's kind of what I do.
We have several.
Aren't you Patrick Lambert?
Why do you think that?
You are, aren't you?
Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
How do you know that? If you don't mind me asking.
Because I know you from Columbia Police Department.
How do you know me from the Columbia Police Department? Do you work at the Columbia Police Department?
I used to. I thought that's where you were.
In records or something, or?
I just used to work there, and I'm a retired cop.
Oh, okay, because I do a lot of stuff in Columbia.
I thought that's who you were.
It's interesting that my name's going around like that. See, people know who I am.
Madam's house cat.
They know that I record the police and stuff.
Okay,
but,
well, that's cool.
I appreciate your time, Lieutenant Simmons.
We got another one where I showed up on YouTube. There was a guy when the presidential parade was coming through. His entourage, and he had his car angled towards the road. And I said, "Buddy, I tell you what, I'm fine where you are as long as you don't, you put your car parallel to the road instead of angled towards the caravan."
I feel like I saw a video regarding a presidential motorcade in South Carolina one time.
And I said, as long as you cut your car off, and he said, well, it's hot. And I said, well, but you got to understand, if this car moves while the president's coming down the road, you're going to have 50 caliber machine guns trained.
I'm surprised the Secret Service didn't want to talk with him.
And they'll ram you and do all kinds of bad things to you.
Yeah.
But no, film away, do whatever you want to do. But let us do our job too, because if we see something that we consider I can't fault Maynard for coming back and, hey, that was that guy that was filming us the other day. I'm trying to figure out who he is. I mean, we have the right to do that.
I'd argue that point.
Well, argue away.
But I don't really.
It's just not gonna work with me.
Exactly. It's a pointless argument here.
I've worked narcotics here. I've ran investigations here right now. I work with all the attorneys and all that, and I enjoy my job. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. It's something different every day.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think it's suspicious for citizens to record police. I think it's a citizen's almost civic duty to provide oversight.
Knock yourself out.
Of the police department.
With you 100% of the time.
Oh, I
Apparently
do.
you did.
Yeah. And just so you know, when I was recording Maynard, I wasn't anywhere near him or anything. I
also
never approach him. Don't talk to him. Yeah. Nothing. I just stand back and record.
I handle drug dealers and gang issues, and I do drive-by picturing with my camera, and they find it egregious. They can't stand it. They think it's that I shouldn't be doing it.
No right to privacy in public. Yes. So I would never argue with you about that.
It documents who is where, who they're with, what they're wearing, and the locations. Those all have a link analysis thing.
Right.
These people assembled at this area. They're a known gang.
Sure. Yeah, I'd never debate with you about your right as well as my right to photograph anybody in public. That you have the same.
Too.
You have the same. Yeah, exactly.
Then I come back and check, see if they got a valid driver's license. Guess what? Then I have a reason to stop them next time I see them.
Yeah, true. And I would never.
That's an investigative tool.
Never argue that point with you there. No, I understand that. I'm just not sure what I was being.
I'm a big fan of the camera.
I'm not sure what I was being investigated for exactly.
It didn't matter because nothing came of it.
Not yet, at least. You never
not
know.
Yet. Next
thing I'm driving through Cayce, I might see Maynard. But I'll let you know if it happens again, though, for sure. Okay. I have some video of it, but it's not great video. But if it does happen again, I'll probably file a complaint because one time you can make that argument that you're trying to get my plate, but a second time. I don't think you can make that argument anymore.
I'll get your name, and I will send out a thing that there is a guy that likes to drive around and video the police.
Well,
he's not doing anything wrong.
It's not really I like to drive around and video the police, but I just...
You just said you did.
Well, I don't drive around looking for the cops, but...
You like to document the police activities on traffic stops, right?
If I come across one, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, well, you know my name now, so if that's something you want to do...
I'm going to send it out within the department. If you see this guy videotaping our traffic stops, don't be alarmed. He's not doing anything wrong.
Well, I appreciate you doing that.
I'll talk to him.
Have a good day.
All right.
I appreciate your candor and your willingness to talk to me. Once again, but that's true. But there's plenty of police officers that aren't like that. So I appreciate you being like that.
There may be. I'm not one of them.
You're a model of what a police officer should be. Then.
All right.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.